What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Vanilla Soup coming at you with a new video, and today I am joined by my friend Joey Ferris. Why don't you introduce yourself, Joey?
Hey everybody, my name is Joey Ferris. You may know me from my YouTube channel Ferris Wheel Pro, and you may also know me as what my mother calls me, a disappointment. So hey, he invited me on to talk about some Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which might just be my personal game of the year. So let's talk about what are we talking about exactly?
Well, we're not talking about you because Jedi Fallen Order for sure was not a disappointment. But thank you so much, Joey, for joining me.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
Okay, great. So today we want to talk about, as Joey said, we want to talk about Jedi Fallen Order. I don't think it's really up for debate at this point, between you and I at least. I do firmly believe this game is the game of the year, even though it didn't get that nomination for Jeff Keighley award show. You know, like, I still think it's probably the game of the year personally, and I believe you would agree with that, Joey.
Yeah, I agree as well, only because I didn't really play Fire Emblem or all these other great game of the year nominees. But yeah, that's personally, it's my own, and that's the thing just about 2019. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of different opinions on game of the year just because there was so many different styles of games that came out that were worth playing. But, you know, as for me being a Star Wars fan and a fan of just single player action adventure Metroidvanias that also have elements of Tomb Raider and Uncharted, you know, it's no question. Like, yeah, it has tech issues, but I didn't really think the tech issues destroyed the game for me.
No, I would agree with you. But anyway, so the topic that we want to discuss, besides it being a fantastic game, is one of the key things that happens at the end of the game. So this is your spoiler warning. If you haven't played till the end of the game yet, or if you don't want it spoiled for you, go ahead and leave now. I will not take offense to that. Joey might, but I personally won't, and it's my channel, so Joey can go eat it.
Oh, that guy left. What? Get back here.
So yeah, that's your spoiler warning. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Cal cut up the holocron.
He was just like, yeet.
Yes.
And it just went away. It was like, bye. The thing that we were searching for is now destroyed.
Right, and I thought at first, I was actually really taken back. You know, we have the different characters pull them in different directions, right? Like, we have Seer that's like, no, you really should. Like, it's your responsibility. You're the Jedi to lead us into a new Jedi Order. But, and like, between what he saw and what the other supporting cast was saying, they're kind of pulling him in the other direction. So it's kind of taken back at first. I was to myself, I was thinking, I don't really know if that's the right choice, and I don't know if that's like practical. Like, and I think that becomes the first major issue, if you want to call it that, or major point of discussion is probably the better term for it. How much of that decision? So, Cal cut up the holocron. How much of that decision do you think, Joey, is weighed on the fact that he just can't usher in a new Jedi Order according to Star Wars lore as we know it? Because of course, Luke has to come along, and all the events of the movies have to come along. How much do you think that is just plot? Like, they have to secure that fact that Luke is the next real Jedi to like bring up an order. Do you think that is a major influence, or do you think it was believable maybe for the character?
I think it was believable, like, because it all goes back to, I apologize if this is like a future point you're going to bring up, but it goes back to that vision he saw.
Oh, absolutely.
Which was a huge part of his decision of where he sees what would happen if he found the Jedi and started his own Jedi Academy and stuff, and then they were going to get destroyed, of course, by the Empire at some point. So I think that had a lot to do with it, but I think I didn't even keep that vision in mind when I saw the end of the game.
And I'm with you. Yeah,
I totally forgot that vision even happened. But
well, there's so much to go. There was so much going on, right? Like, you forget that he had that vision. And I think you're absolutely right. I think like the key reason why he did make that choice is that vision. I mean, there's like, eventually, like you were saying, eventually those kids were going to get hunted down. But I think the biggest problem, and maybe this reflects on Cal's character in general, because he's a very passive person, as a Jedi should be, right? He's very passive, and he's not very passionate, though, in the sense you might see in a character like Mace Windu. or Qui-Gon Jinn, like very passionate Jedi, even though, you know, Jedi are about being passive or whatever. He's very much, he fits the mold of a Jedi. And
exactly.
I think for him to see the other part of that vision of him becoming an Inquisitor, I think that is what kind of makes Cal as a character so much more relevant. And for him to make the decision, okay, the kids might get killed, that's a risk we have to take. But then once he sees himself as an Inquisitor, I think internally, like, that character would have said, well, I could bring like these kids, and they'll die, and then I'll get turned into Inquisitor, and I'll go hunt even more. So not only were those kids' lives on the line, but any future Jedi, any future Force sensitive being would have been at risk, and he would have been responsible for all of it. And I think that that's pretty poetic, if you ask me. Hey guys, quick editor's note here. While I'm editing this video, I've totally realized that holocron probably contains the whereabouts of Luke Skywalker as well. So I think that's actually even more reason why, you know, he was supposed to cut this holocron up to leave the fate of these future Force-sensitive beings to the will of the Force. Because imagine if Darth Vader and the Inquisitors found Luke on Tatooine. Oh man, that would have been nuts. But that would have just ended his life right there as a kid. He wouldn't have any chance. And so I think that's even more important why Cal felt impressed by the Force to cut up the holocron, to let the Force decide. Because if we're following like the Chosen One and Destiny and all that stuff, that was Luke's destiny, right? And I think Cal realized that that's not his job. His role in the galaxy is something far different. But that's it. Anyways, back to the discussion.
It is. It's very poetic. When he saw that he was going to be an Inquisitor, he said, "Ha! Screw that. Nope, I'm out. Not doing this right now." But I think even without that vision, like his motive, his reason, his decision, kind of still makes more sense because he said, you know, we'll let the Force decide, and like just destroying that holocron itself means one big thing. And that is the Empire can't get to it anymore. Right. So they accomplished their mission. They made it so like the Empire doesn't know where these Jedi are. They're less likely to find them, and it's like their mission was accomplished pretty much.
Yeah, and I think that's the real big takeaway from this story. I think that's probably the moral of the story, is that if evil doesn't win, good naturally prevails, you know? Yes. Like, and that's the whole motif, and that's the idea behind a Jedi, isn't necessarily to make sure that good is everywhere, that everybody is following the laws. And Luke touches on this during The Last Jedi, the film. But the responsibility of the Jedi was always just to keep the balance, right? That's the fundamental groundwork of the religion of the Jedi, right? They're peacekeepers, and so when the whole balance of the Force is brought into question, they're not meant to overstep. They're just meant to keep the peace, right?
This is true.
And I think I think that's when Cal really does become a true Jedi, right? I mean, granted, yeah, we have the dubbing of him as a Jedi Knight from a red lightsaber from Series. That was just awesome, by the way.
That's just wicked, right? I don't remember ever seeing a Jedi, like in the films at least. Like, I know there's all this other stuff, but I'm not that big of a Star Wars fan, so I wouldn't know. I've never seen like a good Jedi, good Jedi, the bad Jedi are the Sith guys. Yeah. But I've never seen a Jedi use a red lightsaber, like actually.
And that was just so cool. Really cool. And it means a lot too as that character grows, as Seer grows. It just like she has and I mean, I guess that brings us to another moral of the story, is that you can't change the past. You can only use it to influence the future. Always flowing the future is, as Yoda says, right? So she doesn't change the past. She knows she fell to the dark side a little bit. So that's why and I think that's just so poetic that she would use a red lightsaber to carry with her. Yes, I committed terrible acts in the past, and I gave up my friends, and I produced an Inquisitor from my decisions. But dang, I'm gonna do my very best to change everything, and that is just some of the best character work I've seen from Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, and all I'm saying is like it's in Star Wars, you could kill younglings and be forgiven. Like, let's be real.
Right. Yeah, and that's a whole nother video that we could talk about, which I hope we can do soon. But that's gonna be it for today, guys. But before we go, I do want to answer the question, right? I do want to have us definitively to say whether Joey and I thought that was the right decision. So, Joey, do you think Cal destroying the holocron was the right move? Do you think he made the right choice?
Absolutely, like no question about it, because like I said, gotta stay away from the Empire, and it's like when the Empire falls, that's the safer time to start an academy, and until the First Order,
right?
However that happened.
Yeah,
I want to know how that happened. Seriously, how did you make the same mistake twice?
Yeah, and I would agree with you. I think he made the right choice. I think he fully embraced his Jedi-hood, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Thank you so much for joining me today, Joey. Again, let us know where we can find you.
You can find me on youtube.com/FerrisWheelPro. I'm sure he'll put a link in the description. Probably not. I don't know.
Not anymore, now that you asked.
But yeah, you can check out my Jedi Fallen Order review there too, amongst other things. I do stuff. I do things on YouTube.
Yeah, his review was very McClunky, so yeah.
McClunky.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you again very soon. And until next time, I'll see you online. Vanilla Soup out.